Is there more pain to come for Bitcoin and the wider crypto market? I believe there is, and in this video I'm going to explain why. We'll also take a look at what happened in the FOMC midweek and also take a look at some potential trading opportunities for next week and review the trading opportunities that we talked about on Monday. So quite a lot to get through. I will get through it as quickly as possible. First of all, let's go through the FOMC. So as expected, as we spoke about on Monday, 99% chance of a pause, and that's exactly what we got. So no rate hike this month. But to quickly go through the key takeaways, we've got an article here from Wells Fargo. But basically, the main things to point out, obviously, we paused. For Jerome Powell, the head of the FOMC, basically reinstating that 2% inflation is still the goal, and that they will be data dependent as they have always been, and also that they haven't ruled out another rate hike before the end of the year, but they have pushed back the expected date for rate cuts. So if we just quickly show you what it says here in the Wells Fargo explanation. So however, the bias is to the upside as the latest federal funds target range projection from the FOMC imply that policymakers expect an additional rate hike this year, with the median terminal rate peaking at around 5.6%. Also, the expectation is for rates to remain higher for longer as policymakers remove some of the rate cuts that were implied in the June announcement, now finishing 2024 at a median rate of 5.1%. So, as I say, they were expecting to cut rates sooner. That's now been pushed back. So we'll have to see how this affects things. Higher for longer, and with the Fed still aiming for that 2% inflation target, as you can see. So the markets didn't really like that. There was a lot of volatility during the speech. And then eventually a sell-off. If we go to the lower timeframes on BTC, you can see this was around the time of the announcement, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Lots of volatility, drop, bounce, spike, and then finally breaking down the following day, which was yesterday on Thursday. So if we take a quick look at BTC from the higher timeframes to the lower timeframes, so far so good on the monthly. Still holding that 25.2, another 8 days to go. On the weekly, doesn't look too bad, although this week's weekly candle not looking great. Another failed rally, essentially similar to what we got on the 28th towards the end of August. So not looking too good, especially if it turns red with another couple of days to go. On the daily, so I've moved the daily level that we had here about 26.3, just up slightly to 26.450. As you can see, pretty important level. It was the body top here, or body candle closure tops here on the 23rd, 24th of August. It was the top here in the 7th and 8th of September, resistance on the 12th and 13th of September before flipping as support on the 15th, and has been support ever since, including yesterday. So in my personal opinion, at the moment, you can see we're still in a bit of a downtrend on the daily time frame, lower highs and lower lows, especially with this 11th and 12th September low here. We've had a bounce off that strong monthly level. However, we've only gone and created another lower high in comparison to what we got at the end of August. So for me, this level of 26.450 is vital. If we get a daily close below this and this holds as resistance, then that is going to signal more downside for me. So personal opinion, daily close below this, you can probably look at a short on BTC, with your invalidation being nice and easy, just being another daily close back above. But some potential targets, depending on where you get in, you can definitely look at taking some profit here on 25.2 in case we bounce again. Further from that, the next level I've got marked out here is 24K, 23.9, which if we zoom out a little bit is this cluster of consolidation back here from February. And then the next level below that is 21.5K, which sounds like a real long way away. However, for a big swing trade, not a bad little target there. Could definitely happen, especially if we just quickly flip back to the monthly. If we lose this 25.2K, that is the next big level on the higher timeframes and on the weekly as well. So yeah, potential target there, although there is another TP here around 22.5. You can see the top of this consolidation here from the 6th of March, so you might want to take a bit more profit there. However, they would be my targets. As I say, jump in on a daily close below 26.4 and invalidation being a daily close back above. However, there is a chance, of course, that we hold this as support and then have another leg up to 28k. However, not looking likely on the back of what happened at the FOMC. ETH on that vital support of 1583 again. So once again, similar trade setup. If you get daily close below 1583, jump into a short. Maybe if you're lucky enough, might get a bearish retest. And then for me, the next target is really just straight down to 1370. And once again, nice easy invalidation of a daily close back above. So some nice shorts potentially opening up here on ETH and BTC. If we just take a look at ETH from higher to low time frames, higher time frame, you know, we've still not got back above that 1721. I still think we're going to head towards 1200 based on this deviation here. Weekly, again, doesn't look like there's any support between here and 1370. So I think we're just going to slowly grind down there, or maybe it's just all in one go. And as I say, on the daily, 1538, the key level to hold. And if broken, then definitely looking bearish. ETH BTC found a bit of support here at 0.06, as we talked about. I mean, we talked about this for the first time months and months ago. When we first started breaking down, I thought we were going to make it down here. It's taken a while, but we're finally here. If we lose this level, then it looks like we're heading all the way down to 0.05, that monthly range low, which, as I've said countless times, would be a really nice place to pick up some ETH and alts against BTC. And then finally on the weekly, as you can see, we are losing these weekly lows here at 0.06. So as I said at the beginning of the week, a weekly close below 0.06, and I think that opens the floodgates to 0.053. So this bearish trend line, as you can see, still being respected. So something to keep an eye out for. And of course, Bitcoin dominance reacting pretty well off of that previous monthly range high, which flipped to support. So wouldn't be surprised to see another test of 52%. If it breaks that, then hold on for 57%, because that could be a huge run on Bitcoin dominance. Big dump on ETH BTC, and as I say, in and around that 0.053 area, maybe a big wick to shake people out, maybe some sort of deviation on the lower time frames, and that would be a really nice entry in my personal opinion. Now, going back to the FOMC and the reaction to that, obviously the S&P didn't like it at all. If we go to the daily time frame, so I talked about this last week, that deviation back inside the range is very often a bearish scenario when you deviate back inside the daily range high. And as you can see, it completed that move all the way down to the daily range low. So potential short-term bounce area here. However, if we take a zoom out and go to the higher time frames, the danger we've got is this monthly range high, or previous monthly range high at 4327. Now, of course, we could make a higher low here and bounce. However, a monthly close below, and similar to what happened on ETH, you get that deviation, it's normally a pretty bearish sign. So something to watch out for as we get towards the end of the month with another week to go. In terms of the weekly, not really much going on. And then, as I say, on the daily, we do have that daily range low. We could have a small bounce here, break below that, and as I say, that opens the doors to 4327, and then the moment of truth, whether it holds a support or it deviates. Now, another thing about the S&P, it's been rallying really well ever since, well, basically since October of last year. And the main reason for that is the top 7 stocks. And I've got 4 of them here in Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. Now, the question is, they've been running pretty well. However, what happens when they stop? As you can see, look at this. Ever since the beginning of the year, Apple been on a tear. But look at what's happening on the higher time frames. Big high here around July. We've put in a lower high, and now we're on this really important level of support. If this gets lost, could be quite a bit downside for Apple. Microsoft, again, we put in these highs in July. We've made a lower high over the past 2 weeks. Pretty decent level of support. If it gets lost, could be a big fall. Google as well, potentially putting in a high here and starting to retrace. And then Amazon, bad day for Amazon. Not sure what the news is on that, but again, we've hit these equal highs, so a bit of a double top there, and potentially more downside, especially if we flick through on the daily time frames. It looks pretty ugly across all of the big stock players. So potentially that could cause a big leg down on the S&P, which would probably bring down BTC as well. Speaking of which, we've got the dollar as well, absolutely ripping. We've talked about this. The dollar, a strong dollar is normally bearish risk assets. And as you can see, it is pushing to try and get above that 105.5 weekly level resistance. We've rejected from here every time. We've tested it ever since we closed below it on the 28th of November 22. And as you can see, a very significant close above if we can get it. And then, as I say, a strong dollar is normally bad news for risk assets, i.e. the S&P and BTC, which is why I think we are in for more downside as we see out the year. Very quickly, take a look at the VIX, which has finally started to move. I was on about this week after week for about 4 or 5 months. It is finally moving, so there's still plenty more room for the VIX to run, which means the S&P is still in that territory where it could dump further. So always remember the same: when the VIX is low, look out below. When the VIX is high, it's time to buy. So what you want to see is a nice big spike on the VIX up to the 30s, and that's normally when a low is put in. So something to keep an eye on, as I say, as we potentially see more pain towards the end of the year. Now let's go through some alts or some altcoins. So on the weekly for ADA, you can see still holding on to this weekly range low at 25.5 cents. Go to the daily, no real trade unless you caught the short on 25.5 cents. Now I said on Monday I didn't really fancy this as a short, mainly because we are sat on that big higher time frame support, so it's a bit of a risky short. I was more inclined to look for the long if we got that daily close above. We didn't, and that's why I like to wait for those confirmations, because as you can see, it just absolutely melted. So yeah, didn't get the signal for the long, didn't fancy the short because it's on a big high time frame support, and I'll show you why that's important when I get down to ZIL. But yeah, basically we've just retraced all the way back to where we were Monday, so just a big U shape. And yeah, nothing doing on ADA. AVAX, we entered this on the Earn While You Learn on the Learning Crypto Premium. We looked at a long here. I mentioned this on Monday. I said if we hold this low here on the Monday, then that looks like a pretty good long. We went up a little bit, and then as you can see, we jumped out on this daily close below this support at 909, so didn't hit a full stop loss, which was nice. And as you can see, our stop loss would have been hit. But yeah, shame about that. I'm really surprised because AVAX has had just week after week of red candles, which is crazy. I thought, we got this weekly close below support. I thought maybe we would deviate, especially after this big wick. I thought that was clearing out a load of longs ready for a move up, but didn't happen, and so be it. Matic, this was another long we tried 2 days ago. So as you can see, we put in this low here on the 12th of September, made a higher low on the 18th. We got above this important level of resistance at 53.5 cents, held it as support on the Wednesday. So I was like, right, yeah, this looks good for a long. Entered right on the level, but unfortunately, as you can see, due to the FOMC, we dropped, and so we've exited this morning, again, before potentially getting stopped out for a full stop. Near, bit of a weird one, hasn't moved at all this week, even after the FOMC, so not really sure why that's not moving, but it is holding support here at $1.11, so might be worth a long here with a nice easy invalidation of a daily close below, with your targets being slightly higher up at, you got a TP there at $1.16 and then TP2 at $1.22. However, this might just be a delayed reaction. It might catch up with the rest of the market later today. BNB, this short is running well that we entered up at this day level of 219, as you can see, hoping for it to hit TP1 around here at 207 and then TP2 down there at 189 if it were to lose this weekly range low, as you can see. Fingers crossed. DOT is another one that just hasn't really moved this, or it has moved, but just gone straight back to where we were on Monday. I did think there was a potential short on if we got up to $4.27, but didn't quite make it. Potential long here if we make it down to $3.86. And these two levels here that I've got marked out go all the way back to 2020. Yeah. So yeah, we are approaching potential. Oh, go away! Didn't want that. Some potential new lows on DOT, which is great. Obviously, if you're a believer and a holder of it, nice dollar cost average prices, as I say, all the way back to 2020. VeChain, this is another short that we entered on the Earn While You Learn. As you can see, this level is 0.017 being a real tough nut to crack. We entered half a position here and we put the other half position in case we got another retest of the level. Unfortunately, we haven't, so we're only running with half a position size here, but pretty decent risk reward, as you can see, about 3 to 1. Once this hits TP1, which is around 0.016, we'll move stop loss to break even, and then it's a free trade. But as you can see, breaking down nicely. Once we get a daily close below 0.016, I think this is going to absolutely tank. So fingers crossed on that one. And then finally, ZIL. Not sure where this is finding the relative strength from. As you can see, it's just absolutely ripping, and this is why I didn't want to enter that short on ADA, because as you can see, if we go to the monthly for ZIL, big monthly level of support, as you can see. So you always got to be careful when assets are on these big higher time frame supports, especially when they've had a lot of selling for the past few weeks as well. As you can see, so you never know when they're going to rip up. So for ZIL, the trade plan on this, as you can see, it's pretty much nothing but air from here up until 0.019. If it comes up, starts showing a bit of weakness, I'll jump in short. However, my ideal entry scenario is a close above 0.019 and then a close back below, deviation, short it down to a 0.017 and maybe beyond. So that's one trade I am looking out for this week. If you like all this trading content, we are going to start gearing these videos on a Monday and Friday towards more trading content. We've got loads of stuff on the Learning Crypto Premium. So as I say, I've got the Earn While You Learn, which I go through every Monday to Friday, Monday all the way through to Friday, so every day, and going through trade setups, fully transparent, doing things step by step. So even if you're a complete beginner, never looked at a chart or an exchange before, show you all how to do it. And of course, we've got the community aspect as well. So in here, this is the Discord that you get access to on the Learning Crypto Premium. And as you can see, we've got the members trades. This is for more beginner type stuff. So you can see all the TA goes in there, plenty of discussion as well, nice bit of support from each other too. And then for the more advanced trades, we've got these down here. As you can see, all the TA gets in there, fully transparent. And then we've also got the trade success room as well. As you can see, lots of profitable trades in there, which is really cool, really nice. As I say, really good community aspect, help each other out with analysis and trade ideas, and just help each other improve as traders in general. So if you like that, like the sound of that, go ahead and follow the link to our website and check out Learning Crypto Premium. It's got free trial and all that good stuff. And as I say, we are going to start gearing these videos towards more trading type content as well. So if you like that, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, all that good stuff. So without further ado, have a good weekend, and I'll be back with you on Monday to give you all the stuff you need to know for the following week, and of course some more potential trading setups. So I'll see you then.